anything else that's happening, for you? Things that you want to discuss real quick, sir?
Not offhand. I mean, this is helpful. Just the process of obviously going through scripting. I mean, one thing that, not to get off topic, but I noticed, I was on the call the other day when you're saying, and even today when you said, your team comes in at 8 a.m., you have this routine, and you go through this scripting, and I believe in that, setting up a habit.
Yeah.
And a habit for your team. Would you ever consider hiring anybody to your team who was more seasoned, maybe not as a real estate agent, but maybe in sales, who simply wanted a little bit more freedom?
Probably not. Here's what I mean. We know our template works, and we know our template works at a high level.
Yeah.
And think of it as a boat, and the oars are in the water. If they're all rowing together, we get more done, more synergistic, and the people believe and support each other. Cameron, if you're struggling or making calls, does the other team or the team members, do they help you? Do they throw things at you? Do they make fun of you? Give us an insight to that.
Yeah, we motivate each other almost too hard sometimes. I think we do definitely. There's a lot of kind of healthy competition. I recently just moved into we call it the sweatshop with our it's like 5 agents or something in there, and it's just this little tiny room, and we're all standing making calls. And it's one of those things where I'll turn around and poke someone on the shoulder. Hey, haven't heard your voice in a while. Oh, whatever, I'm doing this thing, and I'll get the same thing from everyone else. But I think for me, just being in an environment where everyone else is doing it, it makes you go, why am I not doing this?
Yeah.
Everyone else can do it. What's my deal? And then on the same time, you have that accountability. And I think I even noticed that, like, we had this 3-day weekend this week, and I stayed at home and made phone calls on Monday. And I just noticed that the 3 days, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, of not getting up at 6 in the morning, not starting my routine, not starting my day with affirmations. By Tuesday, I was in a funk, and I was in a little bit of like a out of the habit. I felt like I want to get back in. I want to get my habit going again. I want to do affirmations again. And I actually have started now. Moving forward, we'll be doing them on weekends as well, just to make sure that I'm doing that too. So. It does a lot, especially for someone like me.
And then Cameron, so what happens, if somebody shows up late or something interrupts it? What would you say the energy or the feel of the whole team or the environment is if it's not working in that kind of this is the schedule fashion?
You definitely notice. But, I mean, so it can be a detriment, especially depending on the energy of who is missing, because some people add definitely different tones. Like, for instance, whether you're there or not in the morning is different. But the plus side of that is even sometimes when it's just like me and, say, another agent, if it's just the two of us that day for whatever reason, then we're still up and doing that. So I think, obviously, the goal is to get all the oars rowing. But even when you're missing one or two, there's still other people to keep you accountable. It's not like if one person doesn't show up, then the whole thing is gone. So.
And then Jason, not everyone is going to be in the office every day, every time. One lady on our team twice a week in the morning spends time with her husband because he works a different shift. And yet on the weekend she's going to go do an open house. So I mean, yes, we are accommodating too.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we do our best to maintain the standard because the standard creates the consistency and the habit. Does that answer your question, sir?
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Jason, I started the team 2 years ago, and I did hire agents that had 15, 25 years experience in that process. And so here's what happens. Particularly if they come from the same company, so if you're like at John L. Scott, they've already been there. Experienced agents have a tendency to get an itch where they will go from one team to the next team to the next team. And what you're going to find is that in exactly 6 to 12 months is when they're going to be itching to like go look at the next green grass on the other side of the fence. Just from experience, probably, I mean, I'm completely agree with Anton. We try to look for agents that have about 1 to 5 years experience or brand new if they're going to go through our mentorship program, internally. But you're going to find that the long term, they'll stick around longer. Would you agree with that from your experience? Because I'm sure you've done the same thing.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. However, Lance on our team's been in the business literally almost 20 years. Here's the difference.
Yes.
If someone joins your team who has been in the business a long time, they have to be willing to change their habits, their routine, their mindset, their programming, their beliefs about how they think real estate should be done, because we do it different.
Yeah. So here's the type of person that had more experience that you would hire, right? Somebody that has been on other teams and they have the abundance mindset, they have the leadership mindset, they have the obsessive learning mindset. They get on training calls like this. They're always trying to improve themselves to the rule, right? But they really have to be in alignment with your values. And so you got to get clear on the things that you value. When I go through my interview process, I ask questions based on the values that I hold dear to myself, and I don't compromise on those values. So they would have to match there. But just take my advice. Like 1 year itch is not a lie. Like try to avoid hiring people that have come. Because they tend to move on after about 6 to 12 months.
Awesome. Well, unless anyone else has anything else, I mean, we've covered what we want to cover today.
Is there anything next week that would be valuable for? I mean, was this format today valuable for you? Like valuable for you guys? What can we do to change the format to add some more value?
I think it was valuable. I appreciate it.
Yeah, seemed to work good for me. And then I actually just wanted, before we go, just want to add one thing to our last conversation we were just having is when I first started on, I got my license to just kind of be an agent and started the team just because of people I knew. And when I started and realized that I had to be here at 8 o'clock every day and kind of it was a little bit more ritual, I was like, crap, I don't want to do this. But because I saw the potential to learn and grow here, I went with it, and once I started seeing the benefits of what it was doing, I still don't like getting up in the morning, but it's definitely something where it's like, I need to be here because it's going to benefit me. If they don't want that or they don't see that value, then they're not gonna. And I think that even if someone's a little hesitant, I think once they start getting into it, you realize that part of the routine is being organized and structured. That's how you get the success out of it. So
good to know.
Yeah, anything else you guys want to go over next week to make sure we can get you what you need in your process?
Well, the only thing, are you talking about buyers specifically?
Yeah,
because next week is what?
We're focusing. This is all buyers. 6 months. We'll go into sellers after the buyer course in. Starting in August. But right now we're just going to focus so that we can, just be focused on one thing.
Yeah, I would just say material, and probably go into it. I like this the touch programs. If we can go into specific examples of what does your 8x8 look like? What does your 33 touch look like? And what does your buyer agreement physically look like? So that we can get a good idea of what you're using for a buyer's agreement, what you're using for your 8x8. You're doing one phone call, one mailer, one email, one text message. What does your 8x8 look like? And how then do they transition into your 33 touch? And then what does your 33 touch look like? And is it different for past clients versus internet leads versus buyers versus sellers? Or is it all the same for everybody and they just go into a prospecting funnel or a CRM tool? And if you're not using Livewire, then what tool are you putting them into? So that we can get a better idea of boots on the ground, what's working.
Awesome. And the cool thing about this is that you know, Anton and I have different systems, so you'll have two different perspectives on that, and they're both going to be pretty awesome.
Yeah, yeah. That would be helpful.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, next week we'll definitely go into details. And so what I'll do is I'll put together the materials I have that I use for 8x8 33 touch, and then Anton, you want to do that too, where you can put some put some of the materials you guys use, and we'll all like mastermind.
Yeah, no, I love it. And then I was just looking at and I don't know if you guys can see my screen, looking at the last thing that you wrote in here for a homework assignment. Purchase and read The Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod, and then write out your Miracle Morning routine, and then email it to us, and then also practice the sign call script with a partner. So that's kind of the homework for this this next week.
Have you guys have you heard of the Miracle Morning? They have a Miracle Morning for realtors now.
Yeah. Which one's better?
The Miracle Morning absolutely changed my life. I haven't got to the Miracle Morning for realtors yet, so I mean, I would go with the one for the realtors though.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
It's written specifically for our routines. Michael Maher, who wrote the 7-Level Communication, co-wrote it with Hal. So yeah, it's definitely good stuff. And